Welcome back. We are taking a look today at topic 11, block 2, and we are focusing in on writing and solving two-step equations when given a real-world scenario. So let's take a look at our first question here. It says that a local gym is trying out a new membership deal to increase its membership. The gym charges only $11.95 per month, plus $1.25 per visit to the gym. If Arturo spent $29.45 at the gym last month, how many times did he go to the gym? Well, I'm going to share with you my strategy for writing equations when it comes to real-world scenarios. And so let's go. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write an equal sign because that's what I do. Okay, and on one side of my equal sign, I always like to put down the total. What is the total amount or the thing we're shooting for or the end result that we're going for? On the other side of the equal sign, I always like to put down the how. How are we arriving at that total? What mathematical calculations do we have to do to get that total? And that's where I start out. So again, if we look at this question, it says that the gym charges $11.95 per month plus $1.25 per visit to the gym, and Arturo spent $29.45 at the gym last month. How many times did he go to the gym? The other thing you have to look for is, what is it that we're trying to answer? What question is being answered when we get done with this question? And in this case, we want to know how many times did Arturo go to the gym. So the other thing you have to do besides setting up the how and the total is you need to establish your variable. I tend to just use x all the time. X in this case is going to represent the number of gym trips. That's the shortest amount of words I can put it in. How many times did Arturo go to the gym? The number of gym trips. So that's going to be our variable. Okay, so again, let's get started. I'm going to move my equal sign over here now. How much is our total? How much did Arturo spend? That's what we're looking for. He spent a total of $29.45. Whoops. $29.45 at the gym last month. And you have to ask yourself, how did he spend that money? How, of course, going to the gym, but what's the mathematical calculations that will allow us to arrive at $29.45? Well, we can see here that it is $11.95 per month plus $1.25 per visit. So this is how much he spent last month. So we know that he spent $11.95 per month, right? That's the same per month no matter what. In addition to that, plus he spent $1.25 per visit, or for every visit, or we could say multiply by the number of visits he made to the gym. So that would be $1.25 times x. X is the number of gym trips. Now we have written our equation using the how and total method, and now we can begin to solve that equation. So let's take a look at that. First thing we have to do is to say, well, it's $29.45. We will subtract $11.95 from that because that's the monthly fee no matter what. So $11.95, this one and that one cancel each other out, and we are left with $29.45 minus $11.95 is $17.50. And so then we bring down the other part that hasn't been affected yet, $1.25 times x. All right, our next step now is we have to isolate the variable x, so we're going to divide both sides by $1.25. When we do that, this $1.25 and that $1.25 cancel each other out. And $17.50 divided by $1.25 is 14. So according to this, 14 trips to the gym last month. And we can check that answer by taking it and substituting 14 into the original equation for x. Multiply that times $1.25. So $11.95 plus $1.25 multiplied by 14. Does that equal $29.45? Well, you can figure that out and determine that yourself. Okay, well, there you go. That's our first example. Let's look at our next one. Brad saves up his monthly allowance over a period of 6 months to buy a pair of Beats headphones. He lends his friend George $10 from his savings. Brad now has $272. What is his monthly allowance? Okay, again, what's our total? And how did we get there? Okay, and what's our variable going to be? The variable x, what will it represent? His monthly allowance. That's the thing we're looking for. So x represents the monthly allowance amount. Okay, well, go back to our question. How much is our total in this case? You know, what's the end result? What's the goal? How much are we left with? Yada, yada, yada. In this case, it is $272. That's our total. And then how did he get there? Well, let's see here. He is saving money for 6 months. So 6 multiplied by his monthly allowance, so 6 times x. But then he gave George $10. So he has to subtract the $10 that he gave to George to end up at the $272. Now, with that, we should be able to figure out what it is. X is his monthly allowance amount. So let's begin to solve. I'm going to add 10 to both sides because that's the opposite of what's being done here. So to solve, we have to do the opposite. Adding 10 and adding 10 to this side, I get $282. And I bring my 6x down here. And now I divide both sides by 6 because that will undo the multiplication of 6. And now x is equal to 282 divided by 6, which is 47. X is 47. His monthly allowance is $47. Now, if we want to know if that's correct, we can take that $47 amount, put it back into our original equation for x, and say, all right, is 6 times 47 minus 10 272. And I would highly recommend that you do the check to make sure that your answer is correct, because you never know. We all make mistakes. I've made a few, not many, but a few. All right, let's take a look at our last example question. Kimberly's swimming pool holds 10,800 gallons of water when it is full. Due to evaporation during the last month, its volume is down to 7,600 gallons. Kimberly wants to host a pool party before summer is officially over, and she needs to refill her pool. The flow rate of her water hose is 400 gallons per hour. Wow, that's pretty good. How many hours will it take to fill her pool? All right, well, again, back to the total versus the how scenario. And don't forget, we got to establish our variable. What are we looking for? We are looking for how many hours it will take to fill her pool. So x will represent the in blue, the number of hours to fill the pool. So going back to what's our total? What are we looking for? What's the end result? What's the goal? Hopefully you'll see, you've already figured out that it's the 10,800 gallons because that's how much water she wants in the pool. Now, how is she going to get there? Well, as you can read in the question, the pool already has 7,600 gallons. And she is adding to that 400 gallons per hour. So 400 multiplied by the number of hours that it will take to fill the pool will equal the 10,800. So the first thing we do now is we want to solve. And the way we do that is, first of all, we are going to get rid of the water that's already there because we don't need to worry about that. So we're going to subtract 7,600 from both sides. And when we do that, we have 400x on this side of our equation and 3,200 gallons on this side. All right, now at 400 gallons per hour, if we divide that by 400 and we divide this side by 400, then that cancels that out, and x is equal to 8. 8 being the number of hours it will take to fill the pool back up to its full volume. And again, if you want to make sure your answer is correct, take that 8, substitute it back in for the x in the original equation, and sort it out. The 7,600 plus 400 times 8 equal 10,800. Double check your work every time. It's always a great idea. All right, well, those are all the examples. You should have enough information now to be able to do a few on your own. Good luck with that. Have fun, and don't forget to be awesome.